Hello YouTube, this is Silver Corrector here. Going to talk to you guys about my opinions about previous Windows. Now, as probably many of you know, and maybe some of you don't, Windows 10 has announced and also has set out the new Windows 10 program. No. Software? Maybe. But I'm going to go through from 1995 Windows, or Windows 95, up to Windows 10, talking about my opinions and what was the benefits, what was the negatives, what I liked about it, what I didn't like about them. So, first one I want to talk about is Windows 95. I would say Windows 95 was a great starter. Necessarily, Windows 95 was not the first Windows program out there, but it was the first Windows technology that I used. And I remember those days when you had to put in a 3.5 floppy disk, and that's where all your stuff went on. And then with the 3.5 floppy disk, you know, that slot thing that you can bring back and forth, the teacher saying, "Oh no, don't do that, you're going to let in viruses." Not really, it was just going to destroy the data in there. And then was the starting where you only could really type, and what was on the internet was not really, there wasn't much on the internet. But you were able to do spreadsheets, and you were able to do Word, some Paint. There was a few games such as Dig It and Shrek. Just a few games. Solitary was a big one. Then there was Windows 98. I believe the first time using Windows 98, I was in 3rd grade. I guess it was a good boost. Internet was coming out and doing pretty well. Then there was at that time, the warnings of horse jam or a moth or a bug came into play. People started getting a little bit more creative, and just basically starting to start birthing hackers. That was like the basic generation where hackers were starting to come along, and this was also the era where software like ESET, Norton, McAfee, all those, although there were only a handful of them, not like 26, 142 antiviruses, but they started working on trying to prevent people or just system malfunctions to occur. And then you have XP. Now there was 2 sections of XP because, there was Windows 2000, which didn't go through, but then they went with Windows XP, and that lasted from 2000 to 2003, 2004. Windows XP was a very good step. It was a brilliant step up, where you were able to put more graphics into your computer. Well, it had more graphics. There was more picture settings, there was storage capacity, there was the starting of the gigabyte, and more programs. That is where the internet actually really took off. Well, in my opinion, that's where the internet really took off. It was a big center of a lot going on. It was like 1492 when everything was going on in the world. In 2005, between 2005 and 2000 to 2005, that's when everything was going on in the digital world. And then there was Vista. Vista I was not friends with. Vista I felt was a little too user-friendly, or maybe just not caught up to what the expectations as it was supposed to. Not necessarily Vista was a prototype like everything else, but this prototype never advanced to Vista Point 2 or 2.0 because on one side, yes, graphics went a little easier, smoother, and speed process, but that wasn't to do with Windows Vista. Vista was kind of a throw out just to keep people quiet so they were able to catch up on another Windows program. And then basically Windows 7 came out. 7, I would say, was really the best Windows product there was. Yes, even better than Windows 8 and Windows 8.1. Windows 7 basically corrected all of Vista's bugs and errors and made it so that it was going to expand far more than what the intention of a computer should be. Of course, then, yes, you would have like movies of such as Iron Man or those type of generation or creation of virtual internet. And then Google Glasses came in and all that. It kind of went head to head and trying, okay, probably we can boost more in our technologies and try to make it more of an outfit where we, the person behind the computer, feel like we are part of the computer. And I know like game systems started getting internet connection, and then there was smartphones that really started up with internet connection. But necessarily we're not talking about phones or anything, or internet, we're talking about Windows. However, Windows then started trying to make prototypes of trying to get their software onto a telephone, such as the Windows 8 phone. Now, Windows 8, I would say it wasn't the greatest. It had some issues. It felt like it was too user-friendly, where you had selective options and you were not able to, well, you were and you weren't able to create programs by scratch. Basically, it was just building stuff from previous generations that have what that has been known for. Basically, a lot of shortcuts. There was also a few things that Windows 8 had not updated, in which it was right-clicking on the Start button and be able to pull up a lot of features. It won't show it up here, but there was, I wouldn't say shortcuts really, because if you were trying to go to programs and features for Windows 7, you click here, go to the control panel, and then it would be right here. Or you could just search it. With Windows 8, you were not able, it took a longer time to find such programs. And within the search engine of right here, some of them didn't even appear in the search. They were not linked in correctly. Which, okay, it was a prototype for Windows 8. The graphics of the new desktop looked pretty good. And then Windows 8.1 came out, which fixed some of the issues, which I was glad. Still had some issues with the shortcuts being not shortcuts, just trying to go through. It was a scavenger hunt from there. And with Windows 8.1, though Windows 8, just regular Windows 8, had switchback, where it would switch to back to Windows 7 default, or it could just go to Windows 8. Windows 8.1 was actually Pro, just so you guys don't get confused. And then in April, around in April, I think it was probably March, if you're in a different country than United States, in the United States, Windows 10 came out for reserve. Not totally come out, but it was in reserve around April. In like the United Kingdom, it actually came out a lot earlier. In other parts of the world, I have no idea, but in April, you were able to reserve a free Windows 10 program or software, and it looked like this. It had the Windows set up, and you just had to click it, reserve it, and then once it came out, you were able to download it. Last night, now today is July 29th, 2015. At the time of 12 a.m. in the morning, Windows 10 finally came out in the United States, which I was really happy. I put it on one of my laptops. Of course, I knew the upload was going to take a while, but the thing is, my computer is really not bulky, but it's fast. It's strong. It has iCore 7 with a quad or dual processor, 8 gigs of RAM, and so on and so forth. It's bulky. It's one of the fastest, cheapest fastest, cheapest computers out there. By cheap, I mean like under 1500. It took my computer about 3 hours to get Windows 10 on there. It's still installing settings and features and defaults, which, okay, yeah, it's common, but as if you have a weaker type computer that does not have the capacity of the top of the notch computers, you may be looking around 5 to 6 hours of uploading, which is not a big deal. I have a demonstration of Windows 10 for the first site, which will be either out before this video or after this video. I have not determined, but I don't know. Maybe Windows 10 will be pretty good, maybe not. I see that it's kind of like a Windows 8, but it's a little bit better in my perspective. Yeah, especially with tablets coming into play with Windows and the 2-in-1 tablet laptop, Windows 10 will work with your desktop, your laptop, your tablet, your 2-in-1, your phone, and I believe I'm missing a couple others, but those are basically the 4 or 5 basics that you should really consider. And so if you guys have any questions about Windows or have any questions of what to do, if you should go to Windows 10 or not, please leave a comment or leave a message. Please leave a like for the video and subscribe to the channel. Again, the video for demo of Windows 10 first site will be coming out, and if you're still not sure if you want to do Windows 10 or not, I would highly suggest looking at that video before making your decision, just so you have a sight of what it's going to look like if I'm having problems during the video or not, and just check it out. It probably will give you an idea of if you want it or not. If you want it, that's great. If you don't, that's great too. It's really your preference. But anyways, again, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, share, and comment freely if as you wish. And this is Silver Corrector, and I'll see you guys next time.